So I typically don't do this, but I guess we'll start since I do want to document this series of events or unfortunate events. We're gonna start off by introducing myself. Or you guys probably already know me. So we're back at the shop, back in Houston. Back at the shop in good old Houston, good old Mercedes, good old om601 chilling under here. And we don't care about this right now. What we do care about is what's back here, and that is the engine that is bound to go into the Mercedes by the end of this week or next week, hopefully. Trying to aim to have this installed very, very soon, like within a few days, because yep, I literally took a trip just to get this installed on the Mercedes. And we're not that far gone. We got a whole box of good stuff. So we're gonna get right to it, because I can't waste any time. We already cut up the box slightly, and now we can reveal the gaskets that we got. Oh, I already see one. I see one peeking. Oh, hey, I guess these are for the injectors, right? I don't know. I'll have to look it over, but most of these are like really tough material. I don't know about that bend. I think that should be okay, but we ain't gonna really worry about the head gasket. That might probably be like something if it's like something major, but I know for a fact that there's no head gasket leak on that engine, and I'm not gonna super turbo it anytime soon, so could lay back on that. And because this is for the exhaust or the intake manifold, some other gaskets, but we'll look at the list if we can find it online or whatnot, and it'll tell us what's what. But for the most part, this is the whole gasket kit. So we just took off this gasket from the box, and look at this. This is not a big problem, but it can be a problem. So I'm guessing they loaded it wrong inside the box, or something happened, a defective gasket. But it looks like it's slightly bent right there. Slightly bent right there, like kinked up a bit. And look at the back right here. Back looks fine down here. Now all of a sudden, it looks like scrape or like faded material. Or I don't know, but like I said, I'm not gonna be doing the head gasket, but if I were, I don't know if this would have been one to use, so I'm gonna keep that in mind.
I know what you like.
There's that man of the hour right there. So me and Vic so far took off the torque converter, or the bolts, and what we had to do is one guy had to hold the crank up with the pry bar, and we unbolted these bolts from the back. Next step is to take off this flex plate so we can service the rear main seal. Bet. So we got the flex plate out by hammering the crap out of it and penetrating the hell out of it. Next stop we're gonna do is the rear main seal. Right, Vic? Yeah, he said yes. He agreed. We got it out, the rear main seal. Bolts are holding the housing down, as you can see right here, but be careful because there's two more bolts underneath. There's one right here and one right here, and they're pretty long, and they're the ones that everyone seems to forget. You can see right there, 1, 2, and it'll all come out with a little bit of a pry bar. Should be all good. So we're right here right now. This thing was a fucking, I don't even know what to say what this was, but it was a pain in the you know what to get out. But we got this one out, got that out. I'm gonna put the front seal and go from there. I really don't know what else to do underneath. Maybe, well, of course, oil pan gasket. So we'll go from there. It's getting there. At this point of the build, I really didn't have much of clean hands to film and document what's happening. It was more so, if I had clean hands, I'll start documenting or start filming what's going on in the process. And by this time, I did break a bolt in the block from the oil pan. I'm probably gonna post the picture any moment now. Bam, there's the picture. And yeah, it was a pretty rough few days after this because it was still dragging, but here we are. We're still going on this build. So let's keep going. Front main seal, rear main seal, oil pan gasket with some RTV installed. The water pump has been installed as well. Everything's bolted down, secured. Looking very fresh right here. At this part of the build is when I just started slowing down completely on video documentation. And here's the 601 getting removed, yoink, and it was fairly easy. There's not electronic stuff whatsoever, just like a few plugs for like the starter and like glow plugs and whatnot, and we just set it down, started moving some pieces, some hardware from our old engine to the new engine because they're pretty much similar with parts and whatnot, and bam, look, empty engine bay. So here's the next little clip that I actually got to record for this part. It's like 1 in the morning. We're getting situated for tomorrow. We got the om601 out. So the next step is to put the clutch flywheel from that engine onto this one. Probably rig up the oil cooler. My radiator has the inputs for it. Put the om601 mortar mount hangers on both sides. It rigs up just about the same. It's not really that much different, but the turbo does really make a significant change of hose orientation. So I really gotta pay attention to what I'm doing from here on out, because this could turn on, this could start moving. The thing is, it's gonna probably spill oil, water. So that's the main thing that I'm kind of worried about, is spilling oil, water, leaking all over the place. So we'll see from there. I've had some insights of some people saying to change the throttle linkages from this one to that one, but I'm pretty sure we could make something work with what we have already right here. Other than that, let's keep on going. So the engine was ready to get put in. Has the om601 engine mount hangers installed, ready to go in. And this was kind of where things went a little south. The engine sat so forward towards the front of the engine bay that I can no longer use the clutch fan, and I can no longer use my shroud. So we ended up rigging up a electric fan unit, and that just barely fit, like millimeters of space in between the fan and the engine. But that will be modified at a later time. So as of right now, we got the engine in. I got this hard line just right there, and a whole bunch of lines going on. I got the main line right here ready to go and be installed, but still trying to figure where things are gonna go on this engine. And I know I'm missing a lot of vacuum lines, and this is where we're at so far. We got some of the lines connected. We got some of the vacuum lines kind of situated. Other than that, it is a lot different. compared to the vacuum lines. The other engine has so little. We got some plugs that need to be rewired somewhere somehow and figure out where that goes. This is my, I guess this is the old one. Yeah, this is my old one. I'm gonna be using this one from now on because this one's for the 5-cylinder. But I've already talked to some people and they said that this one still work, but it'll just heat up 4 cylinders instead of 5. Anywho, gotta situate all this and then get the battery back on and oil, coolant, Big Vic. So this is where we're at now. I've not really been documenting every little thing that I've been doing because I'm really tight on time right now, and I have like literally like another less than a week left to start leaving. Well, pretty much by next week I should be gone back to Colorado, but this is where we're at. Still trying to figure out most of the electrical over here and the hoses, the airlines. But I'm doing the easier stuff that I know that I can get this car running sooner. I just gotta wrap up the what's it called, the alternator wire that goes down here. Gotta reroute it, bolt that down. Got the cooling system situated somewhat. Got the heater core sending hose blocked off over there. Got that blocked off for the heater core. So the cooling system's ready to go. Got the oil inside here. Got the new oil filter installed. So we're ready to go. And then now I had just picked up this fan, and it literally has maybe a few millimeters of space, but it could still work. I literally had to make sure that it will work, and I have a feeling it'll still work. Just got to position it accordingly still. So this is where we're at right there. So I cannot use my fan shroud or my clutch fan because I think this one is a this engine does not take a clutch. So we're gonna go ahead and modify that, remove the the cruise control module. Last thing I gotta do is put coolant, tape that up, plug the positive. It's already plugged onto the starter down there, and we should be good. I have a feeling it should just start up and start moving. Another thing I realized was that the turbo's not set up all the way, so gotta figure that out when the time comes, which will probably be once this car starts running. So let's see what happens. So far this is where we're at, the progress that we got so far on the 602 swap. We're gonna cover up those oil lines because the previous owner of this engine decided to chop off the oil line, so we're gonna do block off plates over there. And I deleted the cruise control module that goes right here. I don't care about that. And there's just a few vacuum lines that need to be situated. I got the whole vacuum line harness that comes with the engine right there. I got the rest of the wires here. I'm mix and matching with my 601 hoses that I have, the vacuum lines and such, and so far it's getting there, but I do kind of need a little bit more of a insight of what the hell I'm doing, because like I'm not professional by all means. So let me know what's going on. And yeah, I have like some line right here. I don't know, there's nowhere for this one to hook up anymore, and got the wiring harness that was given to me all ripped up from the previous owner that hooks up right here. So I think once I figure all this area right here, I think it should all be good. Right here is when our good friend Sully jumped on board and helped us out as best as he could with this build, and this is where everything was pretty much going positive direction, and we got the car to start up. glow plugs stay on, they don't shut off, but runs and drives. Turbo's not spooling good, but it is moving. I don't know what that does. I know it's like some kind of escape. Yeah. And the fans are working now, but every other little thing will probably come at another moment. Main thing I'm worried about is this boiling, but I don't think it is. It's just really hot. Like everything's hot, and my temp gauge don't work. So like the safety things, that's what I gotta make sure that everything's right. I need to make sure all my safety stuff is good. Took her for a little test drive in the area, just to be on the safe side, not to go too far in case she overheated. She didn't overheat. She wasn't leaking anything, and she ran fine. This engine just decides to take off even if the turbo's not spooling properly. It's not getting the proper exhaust. It ran really good, and yeah, there's a few little issues that I've had driving. The engine mounts have a third mount, which is the engine strut, and that thing, it's hard to find online, and there's bushings that go on it, and it's hard to find. So for a future project, I'm gonna probably weld some plates onto the frame so I can bolt on and be secure on it. But yeah, here goes the rest of this clip. So as far as I know, this is what was working before we crimped the wires. We're still working on it to make it look cleaner, but they plugged into this right here and it just stopped working. It'll go 40, it'll go up to 40, and it'll like just flicker between 40 and off. She drove fine after that. Didn't care if the temp gauge worked or not. I just decided to wing it. She didn't overheat, and she was fine until it happened. Yeah, so neighbor calls me across the street. He calls me like around 8 or 9 in the morning. Just wanted some rest from doing this whole project. It took a whole week to get done, and he calls me and he says, "Hey, I noticed that you have your car in the driveway," and I didn't think much of it, but then something. I look at it again and I see a puddle underneath, and it's like going down towards the front of the street, and I'm like, ah shit, it must be coolant. That's the first thing that comes to mind. It's gonna be coolant. Okay, not a biggie. So then I go and I investigate, and no, it's actually diesel. A whole bunch of diesel was leaking out of one of the hoses, and turns out I was using airline hoses as one diesel fuel line, and yeah, let's just say that became a jelly substance. So then I went back to the shop with the homie, and then treated ourselves with some Spanky's Pizza. Yup, shout out to Spanky's Pizza. You came in clutch. Honey pepperoni pizza stuffed crust. Hell yeah. The stock exhaust was no longer usable since this was a different type of bolt pattern. So Alvin Muffler took care of me, and they just installed me this pipe. They didn't want to spend so much, so they just did this little halfway pipe for me. And voila, inline 5 sounds once again, now with the turbo, so I'm pretty satisfied with this. The Mercedes was ready for its 1,000+ mile trip to Denver, Colorado. And here's where the next portion of events begins. Filled up the night before, woke up at 5 in the morning, packed up whatever was left, and I am using footage from just a few minutes ago. But yeah, this was early in the morning, like around 5 or 6 in the morning, and we were cruising. Stopped a few times to check the fans, see if the fan's working, and check if it was overheating or not. And no, we were just going on. Did not stop whatsoever. Only to like one stop. I stopped at mandatory Buc-ee's because you have to. You cannot skip on Buc-ee's breakfast. That's a fact. And here is the calculations I was trying to figure out. So I did put fuel the night before, and that fuel lasted me from Alvin all the way a little bit past Wichita Falls. So that is incredible. I still had maybe like another 100 miles to go before empty. I had filled up right then and there, a little past Wichita Falls, and I'm telling you, fuel is really expensive, but man, I have a decent sized fuel tank and decent fuel economy, so that does not bother me whatsoever, especially for this trip. Knocked out day one. It was supposed to be a 9-hour plus trip, but I made it in 7 hours or so because we need to stop to put fuel. And we made it to Amarillo, Texas. So right before bed, get me a little snack, ready to snooze. And then, bam, wake up early in the morning, get me coffee, refill my water bottle, get some Holiday Inn, cinnamon rolls and a banana, looking all happy and stuff. But man, oh man, right after I left this place, everything started going downhill real quick. So as soon as I leave the freaking hotel, I notice that this thing's leaking again, and I'm just tripping. I'm like, did I literally like not replace all of those airline hoses back to regular fuel hoses? And this image right here is literally me getting to Walmart and getting it all fixed, and I put more oil, and I'm just trying to figure it all out, and I tighten it down. Bam, this is what was leaking now. It was this diesel thermostat, the fuel thermostat, to warm up the diesel before it gets into the engine. Yeah, so this decided to rupture on the plastic piece on one end, because the whole thing is made out of metal or like steel or aluminum something, but there's like this plastic piece that decided to rupture, and it was just leaking fluid profusely, like just shooting out fuel like there's no tomorrow. The car wasn't running good anymore. It was sucking in air where it was ruptured. I started sucking in air and diesel at the same time. It was running really rough, and it kept shutting down. And called girlfriend got freaked out about this, and it almost looked like I got stranded, like permanently stranded. Well, not permanent, but you get what I mean, like stranded for unforeseeable time in Amarillo. And yeah, I got AAA, and we called a few places, and on the road I went to Daryl's garage. Upon arrival, the vibe these people gave me was a straight up 10 out of 10. They knew what the hell they were doing. They didn't care if it was a Mercedes. They knew it was a diesel, and they knew what to do and how to get it done, and it only took about less than 30 minutes to get it fixed up. Obviously, I don't have all the tools or a part to replace this unusual occurrence, so I just gave them the thumbs up to get it done, and man, these guys got it done 100%. As quickly as they took care of me, that was as quick as I got out of there, because I had no time to waste. It was about maybe 3 to 4 hour delay at this point, because I went to Walmart, tried to figure this out, tried to fix it myself, and it wasn't going anywhere. So yeah, as soon as they were done, I literally did not stop. I went another 6+ hours, maybe 5+ hours, because I was just cutting time in half, back into Denver. So it's been like about a week. Man, someone's hauling ass. Damn. So it's been probably like about a week or so since I got back to Denver, and the weather's pretty bad. It gets bad here. It's like Houston. Like it gets bad for a few hours or so. It just starts. It just storms. But man, I don't want a tornado to happen. But here's the Mercedes. Made it all the way back. Haven't done anything since I got back. Everything's exactly the same. Nothing's been changed. Nothing's been updated. Obviously, it's been a week since I've been back. Lexus is here, and so is my truck. But yeah, this was quite a trip. And hopefully it doesn't hail right now. I have my keys on standby just in case it hails. But a few things did happen. And that's the window decided to go kaput and fall apart, so that's gotta be fixed soon because I don't want to be driving and I can't put my window down. I think that's the only issue that I've had so far happen. But yeah, there's a door panel right there. Oh, nice. Now I gotta fix it. I don't think it's gonna rain much at all on this side. I looked at the forecast and it looks pretty mild. But yeah, this is where the engine's at. So they just rerouted the fuel hoses for the most part. That way I don't have to use that heater, that thermostat, that fuel thermostat. So we're good with that. And I'm still haven't done anything on the turbo. I should be doing something with the turbo soon. I just haven't moved this car much since then. Probably just to put fuel. But yeah, this is the om602 swap at its current standings. I might make more video footage on what the next step is, but for now I'm just letting her chill right now. And here's that weird jerry-rigged type of engine fan that I got right here. So I just go down here and go, and there you go, spinning at full throttle all the time. Leaks. Apart from the fuel leaks, I've not seen any engine oil leaks except from here because this thing needs to go somewhere. I'm still trying to figure that out or see where how I could bypass it. No coolant leaks. The coolant level's exactly the same as when I first poured it in. So this is where we're at with this build. And so far, I'm pretty happy. Mission successful for now.